going on, guys and gals? Welcome to Good Will Hunting, and welcome back to our 2010s horror ranking. Here today, we're going to be talking about the 2012 horror movies, our top 5 from that year. Again, this is a list for this year. It's a little small for me, but it's getting better each and every year. After this year, it all goes uphill or downhill, I should say. The lists get bigger. It's harder list to make, but a lot more good movies. But this year's going to be solid, Birdie. We're going to get through it.
Dude, we're definitely going to get through it, man. Just like I've been saying so far, we're just like suffering through the earlier years. If as Barney Stinson said, it'll be high up till then. We're getting very, very close. So let's go for the year of 2012. A couple of things real quick. Finally got the background change. If you notice our first two edit videos, I have done a major screw up. So I fixed it there. Yeah, let's celebrate, baby.
Holy
Woo!
shit. Where is
All
that
right.
coming from?
I don't know where the budget came from for that, but more important question, folks, guys. What are some of your favorite horror movies from the year 2012? Let us know in the comment section down below. So without further ado, Brad, do you have any honorable mentions?
Here's what I'll say. If you want to see our top 5 non-horror movies, check out our Patreon and our YouTube memberships, because we'll be doing that as well alongside these. So check that out as well. There's some good. This is actually a great year for non-horror. But yeah, no honorable mentions for me. So I'm just going to go in at number 5. I got The Collection. I like the movie. Okay, it's solid. It's like a home invasion with a twist kind of deal. Where the home invader becomes the victim per se of shit going down. So we like that. That's cool. It's kind of like Don't Breathe before Don't Breathe. But yeah, the bad guy, the collector himself in this thing, he's kind of cool. He's creepy. I remember this came out around the same time as when Saul was on top of the world, like kind of towards the end of that run. So it was, it kind of had the same, I think it had the same, one of the same writer as some of the Saw movies or something like that. But either way, decent movie. There's some good gore in there and some good kills. It's cool.
Alrighty, and yeah, nothing too strong with my honorable mention, so I'll do you, or I'm not gonna do you, but I'm gonna copy you and not do honorable mentions as well for me. So let's go ahead and go to my number 5. That's going to be The Lords of Salem. Definitely, I feel like this is one of the most overlooked Rob Zombie movies out of his whole filmography. I think this is actually just really stunning visually. I think this is actually Sherry Moon Zombie's one of her top 3 best movies she's done for Rob Zombie. I really enjoyed her performance in this. There's a scene in the kitchen where it really freaked me the fuck out. So I know it'll freak you all the hell out. And then, of course, the third act in this movie, balls to the wall crazy. I can't even explain it to you. You have to experience the fuckery itself. Definitely, it deserves to be on this top 5 list. So my number 5, The Lords of Salem.
Colder than a witch's titty, dude, for sure. That movie gets. Anyway, yeah, man, I watched that not too long ago. I couldn't really get into it again. Like, I watched it for the first time in theaters. I was like, it's all right. And then I was like, I think I'd like it more this time. So I jumped it. I was like, I don't really care for it. But yeah, number 4 for me is a movie I've only seen one time. But I remember it actually being pretty creepy. I haven't gone back and watched it again, but I kind of thought it's Daniel Radcliffe in the movie. It's called The Woman in the Black, or The Woman in Black.
Okay.
Yeah, I just remember this being kind of a unique role for Daniel Radcliffe, and I just actually remember being creeped out a couple times, and that's why I put it on here, because like everything else from this year just kind of sucks. But this movie was one that I remember standing out, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So it's number 4.
Hell yeah, man. And I actually had that in my honorable mention list, so I'm glad you did mention it, because I think it's a very solid flick as well. So good pick, my friend. Good pick.
Good pick.
So let's go with my number 4. I'm going to steal your number 5 here from the number 5 combo of Bradley Heath. So my number 4 is The Collection as well. You pretty much nailed most of it. So the only real thing I got here is our main lead and then our main villain. Both of them very good. Like, you just love to see the clash between the two, because they're both actually very smart. And it's very rare in the horror genre where the villain and the protagonist are just geniuses and try to one-up each other. And you're just curious throughout the entirety of this movie who is going to get the final move and who's going to be on top. So definitely check out The Collection. It is worthy to add to your collection. So my number 4 is The Collection.
I like it. Yeah, so this is number 3 for me is kind of unique. Like I actually like the sequel more, but like just out of necessity here, I got VHS. It kicked off the franchise, found footage franchise that's still going today. They dropped a sequel this year.
85.
So. Yeah, which I haven't seen yet. But yeah, this one was good. Obviously it's a combination of a bunch of modern horror directors in there. Adam Wingard, Ty West, they're all kind of involved with this. Radio Silence, I think, was involved as well. So yeah, they all kind of have their own little snippets of this. It's an anthology found footage thing. It's really solid. I think most people have probably seen it by now, but it's got some creepy moments, man. And yeah, it's solid. Again, I like the second one more, but this one's decent. It's solid.
Hell yeah, dude. So let me go ahead and go to my number 3 here. And this is, remember the video, Brad, we did one time addressing our most underrated horror movies of all time? Do you remember that video?
I do.
Yeah, well, it's about to make a comeback here in this video because my number 3 is The Possession with Jeffrey Dean Morgan doing a very different take on the Possession style movie. This one is going more towards a different, like an item here, like with a different religion. And I thought the performances were very well done and definitely out of the box with a style of Possession movie, which is funny because this movie does have to do something with a box. So, what's in the box?
What's in the box?
A possession demon. Oh, so definitely you want to check this out, especially with Jeffrey Dean Morgan. As you all know, he's Negan and he's our boy. We got to support him. So my number 3 is Possession.
I need to go back and fix my 5. I know I said Collector, the original one, but it's actually Collection. Thank you for correcting me there. The sequel, it doesn't change it on my list. I look at both of those movies pretty.
You know what? Both movies are excellent too.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll even be more honest with you. I just thought about this now. I actually was talking about The Collector versus The Collection. But guys, if you've seen one, you've seen the other. They're pretty much very similar.
Yeah, the second one amps it up quite a bit. When you said Collection, I was like, oh, it was Collection, wasn't it? So my apologies. But yes, this one amps things up a little bit. It's got some epic kills in it. Like the opening was fucking ridiculous.
Amazing.
And the ending is really cool in this thing too. So yeah, but anyway, that's number 5. Let's talk number 2, and this is one I just watched recently for the first time, and I dug the hell out of it. Prometheus and the Alien franchise. I'm not a huge Alien franchise fan. Of course, I've seen the first 2 movies. Haven't seen 3, 4, or I don't know if there's another one after that. But I went straight to Prometheus. I like what they did with it. Ridley Scott coming back to direct. It's got great effects. It's got some nasty moments, some really good gore moments in there, and I like just the angle they were going for there. In the movie, which I don't know if you've seen it, so I won't spoil anything, but it's got some good, similar beats as the first movie, but it's on a planet instead of in a ship, and it's just, it's cool. It's really neat. So give me Prometheus. I'd recommend it. I think it kind of went under the radar largely, kind of like everything Ridley Scott does these days. But yeah, it was, it's very solid.
Well, it didn't go necessarily under the radar with me. I'm sorry to say this, Bradley, but this movie put me to sleep. So it is nowhere near my top 10 or outside my top 20. So I have to heavily disagree with you on that. But you know what? This is your list. So awesome that you put it there.
Well, I can tell you that fucking Salem's Lot, or whatever the fuck you said, Lords of Salem,
the Lords put me to sleep. Hey, you know what? And that's fair too. But you know what? If we all put the same thing on there, we'd be boring as shit. So at least we're keeping ourselves. Are you not entertained?
That's right.
So let's go ahead and go my number 2 here, Brad. This one is the most fun you will have in my top 5 list of movies here for the year of 2012, and that's going to be Bait 3D. And no, this is not because Shawnee Vision is in a bathing suit at the beginning of this movie looking sexy as a fox. It is not because of that, even though it kind of does help. But it has a very fun environment. It's pretty much a shark movie. A tsunami hits this town, hits this supermarket, and all these different kinds of characters that they pretty much feed you at the beginning here that we're supposed to follow. They all get trapped in a supermarket with 2 killer sharks. What the hell are you supposed to do in a situation like that? But you know what? It's unique environment, unique shark movie. It's 3D, so enjoy the cheesiness 3D effects that they offer to you. I have such a great time with this. So my number 2 is Bait 3D.
Good pick. Good pick. Yeah, dude. Number one for me is, again, it's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. One of my favorite horror movies in theaters. And that's Sinister. I'm guessing it's probably gonna be the same as yours as well.
Easy.
Yeah, this was by far the easiest number one, I think, probably for the whole decade. Nothing really came close to it this year. I kind of had to fill the rest of the space out, but yeah, it's one of my favorite horror movies of not just this year, but the whole decade. It's on the list. You know, I put it up on the top tier when we did the tier a couple weeks ago. After thinking about it a little bit, it ended up making its way up there, and yeah, it's great. Ethan Hawke, fantastic. This was kind of his intro to horror, you know, and he freaking killed it, you know, as the protagonist in this movie. So yeah, it's creepy as hell, man. Those little footage things. Oh man, they freak me out, man. That lawnmower scene, get out of here.
Yeah, and just because of our boy Chris, Hawk. Nah, just kidding. We'll get to that in potentially later on this ranking series. But yeah, Brad, it's easy. It's number one. It's Sinister. I'll just talk about the little negative and just some of the big things I like. The big thing I like, as you mentioned, is the lawnmower scene. Definitely one of the scariest jump scares in the history of horror movies. That gets me every single time, even though when I know it's coming, definitely still gets to me. Ethan Hawke, terrific. The Bagul, such a very interesting entity that you definitely want to learn more about, and just the story about everything that this demon is doing in this movie. Very intriguing from beginning to end, but just a little negative for me. It's so damn dark. Scott Derrickson, hire a lighting team or something, man. What are you doing? Other than that, everything else about this horror movie is near perfection. So easily 4.5 out of 5. Easily the number one horror movie of the year 2012.
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. Now, this Patreon list is going to be a lot more interesting. I'm excited about it. So,
what you waiting for? Freaking sign up to the Patreon today, or because if any tier for the Patreon, you get the video for free. Well, not for free because you're paying the Patreon entry, but you still get the video at any tier. And of course, if you're a YouTube membership person, it is tiers 2 and 3 where you get access to the video. But you know what? You already know that. So let me go ahead and ask you guys to end this year out. What did you think about our horror ranking for the year 2012 for horror movies? Did we get a lot of the movies right? Or is there some movies that we forgot to mention that are worth a top 5 mention? Let us know in the comment section down below, and let's get that discussion rolling.
Right, you are, Ted. If you want to help us find the good reels, you can find us on all of our social media pages right down below. The Patreon's down there, all the other fun stuff. Go check them out.
Yeah, absolutely. Please do that. And until then, we will see you for the following year for 2013, and we'll just see you there. Time travel!